Hello, everybody. So today, quite a bit of news on MicroStrategy. Good news. So he bought $1.1 billion of Bitcoin last week, announced this Monday morning. His average price on 10,107 Bitcoin was 105,500, and right now Bitcoin is trading at 101,400. So he's still buying the top, although quite not the top, but still the top, still not caring about the price. What's important to note, though, is that the NAV is back towards the 1.8, which is as low as I've seen it in recent months. So I consider this stock to be quite cheap relative to the other proxies for Bitcoin at 471,107 Bitcoin. I think it's outstanding, and he's going to keep acquiring Bitcoin. One of the key questions that I wonder he noted in the presentation for Striker. So I'm going to get to the Striker offering, or Strike offering, whatever he's going to call it, Strike probably. The Strike offering, I'm going to get to there in a second. But in that presentation, that 20-minute roadshow presentation, he noted there's 836 million of excess cash on the balance sheet. So I wonder if he's going to be using that cash to buy a little bit during the quiet period, but maybe we won't know about it, but we'll find out later that he bought more Bitcoin, but he's got some dry powder. So whenever Bitcoin yesterday dropped at 98, who knows what he was doing, or Monday morning, right? More like Monday, more like 8 hours ago, Bitcoin was at 98. Who knows what he was doing? There's 836 million of excess cash on the balance sheet. So he could do 400 million buys next week and the week after with that cash. Now that I've gotten out of it, and that's keeping with a tradition of course, weekly buy. And he's done more than 50 buys total in the past 4 years. He's also mentioned that count in the presentation. Okay, let's talk about the presentation that he gave today on the Retail Roadshow. He posted this link, Retail Roadshow. It's a 20-minute presentation. I watched it. I recommend you watch it. Unfortunately, the system doesn't allow me to do any screenshots of a presentation, so you're not going to get that today because it's TradFi. But nonetheless, you're going to get information. So let me tell you a little bit of information. First of all, you know that the preferred was supposed to be for $2 billion. In a classic Saylor fashion, he upped it to $2.5 billion. It's a $2.5 billion offering, 2.5 billion. So that's 2.5 million shares at 100 shares, or 2.5 billion. That's the perpetual Strike preferred stock offering. The offering of Strike, and he calls it Strike because it's got a strike price embedded in it, includes an 8% fixed dividend. And so I had guessed he would do 6. I guess he's doing 8. And so this places him above a lot of the favored ETFs out there, a lot of the convertible bond ETFs, a lot of the ETFs of yields of rather high or corporate bond yields. This places him a good 2 to 3% above your traditional convertible bond ETF, which yield 5 or 6%. So yeah, I would argue this is a very compelling rate that he's offering to people seeking income. Point number one. Point number two is it's a perpetual uncapped call option on MSTR that is included within the STRK ticker, and that call option can be exercised at the last day of every quarter is when you can exercise that call option. And the price of the call option, that perpetual call option, is 1/10 of a MicroStrategy share, which means that currently the option is going to be out of the money because MicroStrategy is trading at 348, and you get the strike at 1/10 would be lower, of course, but you paid 100. So this option is going to be helpful as we move forward, and it's going to be helpful to redeem the stock at 1/10 of a MSTR share. So this will allow people to convert at this rate going forward, and Strike is intended to go public at $100 a share. So in the presentation, He also mentioned that the 8% fixed dividend will likely be financed via new equity issuances, and he's going to have many possible ways to issue that dividend. And STRK will be the lower volatility, lower return instrument for the refinery strategy that is outlined before. And so to go over this refinery strategy once again, this is an old slide. He bought way more Bitcoin ever since that Q3 call, but that's the only screenshot I could find. So the job of MicroStrategy, the way he views MicroStrategy, is to issue financial instruments that are based on Bitcoin, or to enable the issuance of financial instruments based on Bitcoin. And so, of course, you have high volatility, high leverage. This is where you put this, volatility is a gift to the faithful. So high volatility, high leverage, that would be the option seller on MicroStrategy. You don't need to own MicroStrategy. You can just write a cash secured put on MicroStrategy and earn a yield doing that. Then you have financial instruments that are not issued by MicroStrategy, but that are built on MicroStrategy. That would be the MSTX, the MSTU. Then you have the MSTR equity, which is sold by MicroStrategy. That's the stock. That's the first ticker symbol. Then you have the spot ETF. This is unrelated to MicroStrategy, but this is 1x Bitcoin. Then you have the convertibles. The convertibles are issued by MicroStrategy, but they are not publicly traded. They don't have a ticker that you can buy in the public. They're private placements, but that's 1.75 volatility. And now you have the second ticker. MicroStrategy is issuing a second ticker in STRK, and that's going to be the MicroStrategy dividend, the 8% ticker with the perpetual call option at 1/10 of 1,000 or 1/10 of the MSTR share. And the MSTR fixed, this is soon. I think there will be a MicroStrategy bond, like a traditional bond. I am sure that's part of the plan. He's mentioned it multiple times before. And so he sees MicroStrategy as a financial company who either issues instruments or enables others to issue instruments. It's like a bank. It's the early premise of a future Bitcoin bank is how I view MicroStrategy. Let me conclude by saying, who would be interested by the STRK offering? Who would really like that? Well, the MicroStrategy common shareholders may be interested if they want to earn a yield, if they're yield inclined. Many IBIT investors might be interested because they want to have a yield and also exposure to Bitcoin upside. QQQ investors, SPI investors, fixed income investors. Saylor sees a lot of people as potentially interested with this perpetual stock, preferred stock with a perpetual call option on MicroStrategy embedded within the preferred that allows you to get it for 1/10 as of the strike. And lastly, and this is important, he finished by saying that STRK could be sold via an ATM over time, just like MSTR. So that would be another way to have an at-the-market offering to sell, to issue new STRK stock, just like he commonly issues MSTR stock. And that would be, of course, if STRK traded at a premium. So a lot of exciting stuff going on for MicroStrategy. I think this offering is stunning. It's going to help him to quickly acquire more Bitcoin before we possibly go further into this bull run and see Bitcoin appreciate further. So this was not financial advice, not investment advice. This is just entertainment. Hoping you were entertained. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.